Let us continue with web application pen testing. In this lecture, we are going to see different and important types of attacks on web servers. So why are the web servers compromised? The web servers are compromised due to improper file and directory permissions, installing the server with default settings, unnecessary services enabled including content management and remote administration, security conflicts with business ease of use cases, lack of proper security policy, procedures and maintenance, improper authentication with external systems, default accounts with default passwords or no passwords, unnecessary default backup or sample files, misconfigurations in web servers, operating systems and networks, bugs in server software, operating system and web applications, misconfigured SSL certificates, also expired SSL certificates and misconfigured encryption settings, administrative or debugging functions that are enabled or accessible on web servers, use of self-signed certificates and default certificates. So, what is the impact of web server attacks? It results into compromise of user account, website defacement, secondary attacks from the website, root access to other applications or servers, data tampering, and data theft. Now, we will see some important attacks. I am not going into details of these attacks, but I will give you an overview of what these attacks are. The first is denial of service attacks. Attackers may send numerous fake requests to the web server, which results in the web server crashing or becoming unavailable to the legitimate users. Attackers then may target high-profile web servers such as banks, credit card payment gateways, government-owned services to steal user credentials. We will see how to carry out a DDoS practical in further lectures. The next is server hijacking. In server hijacking, attacker compromises the DNS server and changes the DNS settings so that all the requests coming towards the target web server are redirected towards his or her own malicious servers. The next is the directory traverser attacks. In directory traverser attacks, attackers use // sequence to access restricted directories outside the web server, that is root directory. Attackers can use trial and error method to navigate outside of the root directory and access sensitive information in the system. The next is the man in the middle or sniffing attack. Man in the middle, also called as MITM attack, allows an attacker to access sensitive information by intercepting and altering communications between an end user and the web server. Attacker acts as a proxy, such as all the communication between user and the web server passes through him and he can read all the data you send to the web server. The next is website defacement attack. Web defacement occurs when an intruder maliciously alters the visual appearance of a web page by inserting or substituting provocative and frequently offending data. Defaced pages expose visitors to some propaganda or misleading information until the unauthorized changes are discovered and corrected. Attackers use a variety of methods such as MySQL injection to access a site in order to deface it. The next is the web server misconfigurations. Server misconfiguration refers to configuration weaknesses in web infrastructure that can be exploited to launch various attacks on web servers such as directory traverser, server intrusion, and data theft. Some of the web server misconfigurations are verbose debug or error messages, anonymous or default users and passwords, sample configuration and script files, remote administration functions, unnecessary services enabled, and misconfigured or default SSL certificates. In the next lecture, we will see web server pen testing, that is, how to carry out pen test on a web server.